ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite dark sorcerer here. And today I'd like to discuss Pact Makers. Now, there's been a few Pact Makers that have been identified through demonolatry throughout the history and mythology of the world. The most commonly recognized is that of Satan. Okay. It is said that he is the lord of witches and warlocks. Okay. Now, Satan was identified as such by the Grimoire of Armadale, and again translated again into The Magus by Francis Barrett. Satan has been recognized as the witch father, the witch god, okay, the creator of all those who oppose. He's been associated with the sins of mankind, the seven sins. He has been identified as a Grigori, a watcher angel. And for those of you who do not know what a watcher angel is, a watcher angel is someone who watches and reports on what they see. They were the first class of angelics. Okay? They are the very version of soldiers, pure soldier. They watch the gates of the kingdoms. They go forth and they are brutal in their assaults. If you don't believe me, check out the Old Testament of the Bible. Genesis chapter 6. Okay. Or you can go into the book of Genesis and read up on Michael, the prince, who is known as who is today known as he who is like God in Hebrew. 500 years ago, he was the collector of souls. You go back 2,500 years ago to that of past cuneiform and go all the way back into Sanskrit. His name literally translates into face of love. Okay? Now, Satan has a long history within the Grimoire traditions. He has been associated as being Lucifer, deal maker, okay, which is completely untrue, by the way. Satan and Lucifer are two different beings. They are not one and the same. Satan is a Grigori. Lucifer is an archangel. Two different classifications of angelics. Okay? So get that delusion out of your head. The Luciferian perspective is that they're the same coin, just opposite colors of the spectrum, light and black. Okay? Not true. They are actually two different individual beings. Okay? So understanding this is the first process into understanding who these beings are. Satan goes all the way back to the Munich scriptures, okay, the texts, where he is identified as Sathan, okay, Sathan, and he is one of the main characters there. This is around the roughly around between the 10th century and the 13th century. It wasn't until the 15th century that the book on necromancy by Richard Keffer was put forth with Satan in it. Okay? And Satan wasn't officially used as a term until roughly around the 16th century. So keep that in mind as well. Lucifer, on the other hand, has had a long, rich tradition, okay, within the Grimoire traditions, going all the way back into the Clavicle of Solomon and the Grand Grimoire. This goes all the way back to the 2nd century, okay? CE era, okay? In the biblical sense, Satan has been mentioned at least 37 times in the Bible. Ironically, not all of them were in the Old Testament. Christians will have you believe that he is the original evil, the serpent in the Garden of Eden. This is a proverbial lie because of the fact that it wasn't until the book of Job that Satan was actually represented as a real entity, okay? A physical entity in representation of the adversary, the accuser, okay? Think of Second Chronicles with Jeremiah wrestling with his demon, okay? His own guilt, okay? Basically, that's what Satan is. He's the guilt layer. He's the twister of fates and corrupter, okay? But in Job chapter 1, he is actually the accuser. This is Hebrew. Go into Jewish customs, and you see him as the tempter. Go into the Islamic, and you see him as the outcast. Okay, El Shaitan. Okay, in Hebrew, his name is pronounced Ha Satan. Okay, so you can see where he is known throughout history as a couple of different things. He's been associated with sin. He's a Grigori angel originally, but he is also a tempter, an accuser. Okay, basically meaning adversary. Anyone who opposes established customs. Now, you take, for example, what's going on in the world today. Okay, you look at all this rioting. You can speak up on it, and what you're going to get in reply is arguing, or you're going to be labeled the black soul of that group. Okay, the type of group that you don't want to be a part of is what people say. Well, if you're not a true black magician, a sorcerer, guess what? You're doing something wrong right there, because being a dark sorcerer is meant to empower you as an individual, not become a part of a herd conformity. So, aligning yourself with Satan, who ironically is also associated with the planet Saturn, okay, the dark planet. Now, this dark planet is also in alchemical, astrological terms, okay, the seal of Saturn was also associated with that of Azazel. Okay, Azazel is also a Grigori, said to have made the first deal with a much older angel known as Shemyaza. Okay, Shemyaza worked originally, or at least claimed to. One of the myths and legends about him is that he worked for a much older demon, a prince by the name of Yukon. Okay, you type in Yukon today, and you're going to end up with a vehicle, most likely. Okay, or something out of a video game, because that's basically where demonology has been heading towards. No longer is it a physical entity. No longer is it about death, destruction, empowerment. No, it's now popularity within children's games. You look at the Ouija board, prime example. Shelly333, welcome to the group. So, anyways, okay, we see Satan as a pact maker. This is where witches and warlocks and sorcerers go to make a deal with him. Okay. Then you have what is known as Lucifer's Raphael. Lucifer's Raphael is known as the ancient scribe and pact maker. Okay. He's known as the right hand brother, in some cases, to that of Lucifer, son of the morning, another biblical name, okay, which goes all the way back into Roman times, Latin, okay, Luciferi, all right, but can also go into ancient Greek, Phosphoros, the day star, okay. Now, what's ironic and iconic about Lucifer's Raphael is that he is the keeper of all the pacts. He is a scribe. He dates times, dates, areas, regions, whatever, locations of where the pacts were made, when they were made, and how they were made, and most importantly, what was put into the pact that you, as the practitioner, and that of the demon or deitas, no matter if it's a god, a demigod, a jinn, wherever the deals were made or with whom, he is the keeper, the scribe of pacts. Okay? He is a pact maker, okay, himself. He does infernal pacts, okay? Unlike Satan, who is the pact maker to help you become a witch or warlock, he is the infernal pact maker, okay? The Infernal Pact Maker is basically aligning yourself through this pact with him, with the forces of hell and with darkness. The next one on the list is an ancient Mesopotamian deitas known as Mephistopheles. We've all heard that name, the Big M. Okay? You go into Hollywood produced films, you'll have the Big M, Mephistopheles being the kingpin of demonic activity in a city, creating Faust, the myth, the legend. Okay? And Faust goes all the way back to the 15th century. Okay? But what's ironic is that this is a pact maker, a blood pact maker. Okay? A lot of practitioners today, or at least the wannabes, that get into demonolatry and come to those who have some form of ranking system in an order or a coven, okay? A temple even. They will come to you and say, please, sir, how can I join Satanism so I can become part of the Illuminati and become rich and famous? Yeah, dumbass, go home. But anyways, my point is this. These armchair magicians, as S. Connolly put it so colorfully in her book, the complete, what was it, the book of demonolatry, I believe it is, or it's the other one, the grimoire of demonolatry and something. But anyways, ironically, I have them over there on the bookshelf. But anyways, my point is this: they want to learn, they want to do this stuff, they want to sell their souls, they want it now. Okay, that is the point. They want it now. They don't want to work for it. They don't want to manifest it in their life over a time frame. And in my time during training as a minister, I've noticed this amongst these youthful ministers. Not just ministers, but these new individuals coming into a church or a temple. They're so eager. They don't have the patience or the discipline, the know-how to even begin to manifest something in their life. For an example, there was this one guy. He wanted to have a girlfriend so bad that he was willing to do whatever it took. The ironic part about this is that he had no car to transport them. He had no home to shelter her and potential kids if they got together. And most importantly, he had no job, so he couldn't be able to provide for them. And as I sat there and I was watching the dealings between this individual and this minister, this pastor, it became ironic because, as the saying goes, the youth don't always do what's in their best interest. And I saw this firsthand because of the fact that it didn't matter what you said, because I want it. I need it. It's like a drug. Okay? Mephistopheles is that being that can make it happen for a price. Okay? And because of the Faust mythos, he has become associated with soul collecting. Okay? Basically, you want this? I'll take your soul. The pact making, basically. I'll make it happen for a price. Look at today's Hollywood produced films with Nicolas Cage, for an example. Ghost Rider. Mephistopheles in the first one and the second. Although the first one was a lot better than the second one, I have to say. But you see the point. Everything has gone from pure mythos, dealing with beings that are willing to help you, into these drug addict wannabes, and going right into Hollywood produced films, video games, children's games. These three beings have been associated with pacts, but here's the kicker. There's another type of pact known as the dark pact. And a dark pact can be associated with any upper level demon, a demonic lord. And it's known as a dark pact. And the reason for that is due to the fact that for those who actually want to ascend, those who are basically done with the mundane lifestyle, the stupidity, there's really nothing in the world that interests them. This is a way to go. It's a method of transmigration of the soul, the awakening of the soul spiritually, physically, even transforming the body into something undead, like a lick, becoming a necromancer, grave lording, for an example. This type of thing is through dark pacts. You've heard the term Nephilim. Have you ever wondered where the definition comes from, Nephilim wise? They're half breeds. Half breeds. How do you become a half breed? Does your father or mother have to be a god or goddess? A demon? An angel? Can you make some form of deal? Yeah, you can. All of these apply. You look at the vast amount of knowledge and wisdom that is out there on the internet, written in books spanning back all the way to Sanskrit, with all the scrolls that they've uncovered and unearthed. You look at the forbidden texts in the basement of the Vatican. You look at these museums where all these tablets and coins are. You're going to see ancient knowledge and wisdom in the form of pact making, scribes, even. You're going to see all of the above. Go into religious areas and you're going to see Nephilim. The book of Enoch, for an example, shows how the watcher angels looked down upon the earth and they saw the daughters of men and they took them as wives. And these wives bore children unto them that were renowned as giants in the lands, men and women of renown. Men and women of renown, knowledge and wisdom. Interesting how that happens. Nephilim. You see, mankind will associate them with the Turks. the giants like Goliath, fictional stories. But what if I told you that these pacts can be made, that these beings are real? Would you take my word on it, or would you rather go out and summon them forth through evocation or invocation and make a pact? Would you have the balls to send that pact in your own blood to them? Summon forth Lucifer, Raphael, Mephistopheles, Satan, Lucifer, a deal maker. How many times has he made deals with mankind? Even in biblical lore, Book of Matthew, chapter 4, he comes before their so-called savior. If you kneel down to me right now, I will give you everything that you see here. A deal. All you have to do is bow down to me, and I will give you this. Go back throughout history. How many times has a devil like Beelzebub, Lucifer, Astaroth, Asmodee, or even, say, for an example, Mephistopheles? How many times has Belial been mentioned throughout history, going all the way back to the clavicle of Solomon, where he shows up in the kingdom of King Solomon with his lesser demons, his entourage going before him to pave the way for his coming, to make a deal. It's only your perception that twists the truth. You want to know the truth? Get into the myths and legends and see where they transpire from. A lot of times you're going to see a lot of these demons coming from the Munich manuscripts, the Talmud, the Haggadah, the Jewish Haggadah, the book of Tobias, the book of Tobit, as it's referred to. A lot of these are coming from Babylonia, Sumerian, Akkadian regions of the world. But these gods are worldwide. These beings are worldwide, and they're willing to help you. But are you going to earn their trust? Are you going to learn their history? Are you going to prepare, or are you going to be a little beggar and claim and say, I want, I need, without actually being prepared to receive these blessings, these gifts? You see, if you're not ready, you're not going to get it. I had a client recently that was referred to me by a satanic brother. Her downfall was her own creation. She had a lot of things going for her. She had a rich future. She had a job. She had money. She had power, respect. She had a lot of things going for her, and she gave it up for a guy in a different country. And now, over the last year, she's been destructive, self-destructive, obsessive, compulsive, unwilling to listen, begging anybody that will listen and help. But when you get two or more magicians, sorcerers, coming to you and telling you the exact same thing, don't you think you need to take that step back, do your research, evaluate your own life, your own goals, and rise from the ashes like the phoenix? Same is done with these beings in demonology, angelology. I've spoken on Moloch, Satan, Lucifer, Mephistopheles, Lucifer's Raphael, Belial, and I'll be speaking on a lot more as time goes on. Have a good night.